want somebody to love me.
He threatened to kill her.
Did he kill her?
There's that smirk on his face. I know, and you don't know, and you'll never get me.
God only knows where the present wife is located.
The husband's always the suspect.
Right from the start, Stacy Peterson's disappearance made little sense to her family and friends. They knew her as a devoted mother of 2 small children and thought it was unlikely that she would just walk away without a word. But on October 28, 2007, she was gone, and they suspected the worst. Bolingbrook, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago, searched for the 23-year-old woman. Everyone, that is, except Stacy's husband, Drew Peterson.
Well, number one, the media would be flocking it and interfering in any searches that I would be involved in. And number two, I don't think that where anybody's looking, she would be.
See?
While police investigate foul play, Peterson says he believes Stacy has simply run off with another man.
I don't believe she's missing. I believe she's where she wants to be.
As far as Peterson's concerned, that means there's no reason to search for the mother of their 2 children.
I do miss her, but circumstances in which she left is like a million things going through my head, so I really have mixed emotions about it. The majority of her friends and family didn't care for me. I was this older man with this younger woman, and it bothered a lot of people.
Stacy and Drew did make an unlikely couple. When they become romantically involved, Stacy is just a teenager. She is 17. He's 47 and a married man. But despite the 3 decades between them, by all outward appearances, they're in love. After Drew divorces in 2003, he marries Stacy a few days later. She is the 4th Mrs. Peterson. But the happiness doesn't last. According to Stacy's family, problems in the marriage erupt shortly after their 2 children are born. Stacy complains that Drew is controlling, constantly calling her on her cell phone and following her wherever she goes.
It was constant battling with Drew. He was worried about, there being another man.
Peterson disputes that they are constantly fighting, but he does have some complaints of his own. He says his young wife is irritable, easily agitated.
She'll snap on you for like simple things, and things that are normally you would blow off, she would snap on you.
Peterson says Stacy frequently talked of leaving him and wanting a divorce.
I'm not trying to be funny here, but it seemed to go with her menstrual cycle. If she was PMSing, she wanted a divorce. And if she wasn't, everything was good and romantic and happy.
Her family confirms she was serious about the divorce. 3 days before Stacy disappears, she tells a friend she is too scared to remain in her home. Worried family members call the police, but Drew Peterson seems unconcerned.
I was under the impression she was going to be spending time with her grandfather. But that didn't happen. But then, in looking back at it, normally when she was doing things with her grandfather, she took the kids.
Peterson's cool, calm demeanor only fuels suspicion. And since he's a local Bolingbrook cop, the investigation is turned over to the Illinois State Police.
Right now, we are clearly focusing our search in this area.
In early November, the case changes from missing person to potential homicide.
I would say that right now, Drew Peterson has gone from a person of interest to clearly being a suspect.
The husband's always the suspect. They just made it official. But I believe they were believing I had something to do with it from the beginning.
Whether he is a victim or a perpetrator, his reaction to the media attention seems curious, particularly to psychologists who have observed his behavior on television.
What's perhaps most startling is this obvious and compelling need he had to dance with the media, to, if you will, to flirt with the media.
Despite the seriousness of the situation, Peterson is at times playful with them.
What's this? Lawyers are telling me, don't do that. So my bizarre behavior, as has been said, is just me somewhat being comical.
Please don't get involved in my little world.
While at other times, he is openly hostile.
What do you get when you cross the media with a pig? What do you get? You get nothing because there's some things a pig won't do.
It's a total harassment. It's unbelievable. They're at 3:45 in the morning with their generators going, and they stay there till 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And it's just relentless.
My observations of him are best probably encapsulated under the rubric of an antisocial personality.
I have no comments for the media.
Usually someone who behaves in the world as if the rules don't really apply to them, that somehow, owing to this grandiose assessment of self, they can operate in the world as they please.
It's been all about him from the get-go. That's why you don't see remorse. You don't see concern about the fact that the mother of his children's gone. And the bizarre behavior of the scarf across the face and then filming the media as they're filming him. I mean, this is outrageous conduct. Everything he does is calculated and done to manipulate.
I'm really being portrayed as a monster here, and nobody's defending me. Nobody.
Before Stacy, there was wife number 3, Kathy Savio. They were married 10 years and had 2 boys. In 2004, the couple were just putting the final touches on their divorce agreement when Kathy's body was found in the bathtub in her home.
Reopening the investigation into the death of Kathleen Savio.
Shortly after his wife Stacy's disappearance, people begin to wonder about Drew Peterson.
Get off my property, you're trespassing.
On days when search parties are out in the cold, desperately looking for Stacy,
We need to find Stacy.
Drew is posing for People magazine and swatting the news media away from his door.
Will you get these guys out of here?
Why don't you guys back off, okay?
But however odd Drew's behavior seems, the police sergeant maintains his innocence, speculating in interviews that his young wife ran off with another man.
I'm sad that she left. And I'm trying to think, is it my fault or her fault? You know, should I have been a better husband?
That question about what kind of husband Drew Peterson was to Stacy and at least one other ex-wife is revealing some troubling issues. Accusations of domestic violence, control, manipulation. A past that includes not only one missing wife, but also one who turns up mysteriously dead in a bathtub.
One doesn't have to be a rocket scientist to make the leap that something's not right here, that there's some real problems.
Those problems aren't obvious in the beginning. Drew Peterson is first and foremost a police officer, one who relishes his job.
Relationship, these are the greatest guys in the world. They load you up with presents and flowers and open the door and da-da-da-da-da, and then all of a sudden there's an insidious change that takes place, and it starts with little things. So it doesn't seem so important, like, where were you last night? Well, what do you mean, where was I? Well, I was concerned about you. Were you really concerned about me, or are you suspicious about me?
Drew and Kathy marry in 1992, making her wife number 3. The couple has 2 sons, but Kathy's family says not long after, that jovial, helpful personality of Drew's turns controlling. They say he frequently belittles Kathy. Doman says Kathy also complains that Drew keeps a tight leash on her. Kathy suspects Drew is spying on her.
She told me, be careful what you say on the phone because he has the phones tapped. She thought that he had cameras or some kind of a video thing. He knew everywhere where she was. He knew. He knew everything. He always had a hold on her.
And Doman says it got worse. Hospital records show one time Kathy lands in the emergency room.
He would hit her. He took her head one time and he beat her against a wooden table. She had a laceration on her head. She became dazed. She had black and blue marks all over her.
But despite her turbulent and troubled relationship with Drew, Doman says Kathy wants so badly for the marriage to work.
She wanted a family. She wanted a father for her 2 boys. She thought it would get better.
What Savio doesn't know is it's already too late. There's a new woman in 47-year-old Drew Peterson's life, a young teenager named Stacy Kales. Coming up, Kathy Savio is found dead in her bathtub. Police say it's an accident. But is it?
I felt for a pulse, and there was no vital life signs, as we say.
August 2001. Drew Peterson is entangled in what would turn out to be a fateful love triangle. After 8 years, his marriage to Kathy Savio has deteriorated into an ugly and confrontational mess. People in town can see the strain on Kathy's face.
She looked tired. She looked just upset most of the time.
Drew Peterson's face tells a different story. Old when they meet.
And I said, do you mind that I'm 47? And she goes, do you mind that I'm 17? It was like, kind of like a weird feeling, but she was beautiful, and it was exciting having a young, beautiful woman interested in me.
According to Carrie Simmons, Stacy's stepsister, the feeling is mutual. But the May-December romance may have a fairly simple explanation. Stacy is a girl who has known a fair amount of hardship, a troubled home life, abandoned by her mother. Drew seems like a stabilizing force and is willing to lavish her with gifts.
He had bought her a car, furnished the apartment, and it was, you know, a lot of things that she didn't have.
Still, Stacy's family is alarmed.
We were just, you're nuts, you're crazy, this guy's well over 30 years older than you, he still has a wife, and you should not be involved with this guy.
Drew is still married, but increasingly he and Kathy lead separate lives.
Our relationship started deteriorating. She was easily agitated and more demanding, and we also became involved in businesses together. And the businesses we had together put a big strain on our relationship.
When they are together, things get ugly. Relatives say the two are constantly arguing.
I didn't think anything of it because everyone argues. But it continued. She would call me twice a week, 3 times a week crying.
Then, in October of 2001, more fuel is added to the fire. An anonymous letter is sent to Kathy. It says Drew is having an affair with a teenager.
She was pretty much a laughingstock of the department. That everyone was talking about this affair that he was having, and that she should know about this.
Kathy confronts Drew with a letter. As they begin shouting at one another, the phone rings. Kathy's sister is on the line.
He said, hang up on that, hang up on her. She called me back, and she said, I'm on my way to get an order of protection. I said, what happened? She said, Drew threw me against the refrigerator. He was chasing me with a stick. And he said, give me that letter, give me that letter. He wanted that letter, and she wouldn't give it to him.
In the following months, Kathy starts divorce proceedings and gets that order of protection. Her application contains the phrase, he wants me dead. She also takes out a $1 million life insurance policy on herself and does not name Drew as a beneficiary. The money will go to her children instead. Drew moves out, but not very far away, just 20 doors down in the subdivision. He's living with his teenage girlfriend, Stacy, who by this time is pregnant with Drew's child. The two are a hot item in Bolingbrook, and according to Sue Doman, it gets hotter the closer they come to Kathy's door. A neighbor, Steve Carcerano, sees what happens.
Drew was pulling up with Stacy in the car to drop off the kids, and I saw Kathy come running out the front door. She lunged into the passenger window with her right fist.
Carcerano says that Drew jumps out of the truck, calls the police, and tries to take control of the situation.
And Drew grabbed Kathy, put her to the ground in the grass in front of their home, and put his knee on her, put her arm behind her back up in the air with her wrist cocked back, and at that point the police were on the way.
Drew hands his wife over to his fellow police officers, who promptly arrest and charge her with battery. Bolingbrook police are called to the Peterson Savio home 17 times during 2002 and 2003. Some calls are simple disputes. Others involve complaints of violent acts.
The only person who ever got charged was Kathleen, twice, and the charges were dismissed. So basically, he was clever enough to get past these domestic violence calls.
The Bolingbrook police deny protecting one of their own.
Drew Peterson, he's got certainly the same rights as anybody else does, and that's hard for people to understand sometimes.
Drew Peterson claims that he and Kathy are trying to resolve divorce and visitation issues amicably. But according to Kathy's sister, there is another incident on July 5th, 2002.
He was dressed up in a SWAT uniform. He grabbed her and holded a knife to her throat. He was really mad that he had to pay so much money of child support. And she said, you know, I thought I would never see my boys again.
Savio files a police report, but doesn't want to have him arrested. Drew's version of events differs markedly from Kathy's. He tells the police she had invited him into the house to talk about the divorce, but then tried to kiss him. He denies wearing a SWAT uniform or that he had a gun or knife. No action is taken. According to her sister, Sue Doman, Kathy is fearful and frustrated in her dealings with the local police. The Savio family has released this letter, dated November 2002, and addressed to the state's attorney's office in Joliet. In the letter, Kathy claims that Drew Peterson knows how to manipulate the system, and adding, "He'll take my children away, or kill me instead."
She told me she felt she was not going to make it. He was going to kill her, and it was going to look like an accident.
The state's attorney's office says it is unclear if the letter ever arrived. On October 10th, 2003, Drew and Kathy's divorce is official.
She was sad because she was losing her husband, but she was happy in a roundabout way because now she was able to live her life, be free, not be battered, not be mentally abused.
All seemed settled between them. Then, on the night of March 1st, Drew Peterson is in his squad car, circling the block outside his former wife's door. He flags down his neighbor, Steve Carcerano.
And he asked me to go to the house in the next 10 to 15 minutes because he had a locksmith coming to the house. He thinks something might be wrong because he's been trying to drop off the kids for the past day and a half, and that's not like Kathy to not be there when the kids, were being dropped off.
But Drew Peterson refuses to go into the house once the locksmith opens the door.
Kathy was always accusing me of something, and I didn't want to be accused of anything going in the house, like stealing something or walking out with something or whatever. And that's just how she was.
When we first walked into the house, it's kind of an eerie feeling because you're kind of like wondering what you're going to find, if you're going to find anything. When we went up there and found what we found, it's something that I'll never forget.
Kathy Savio's naked body is lying in an empty bathtub. She's been dead for more than 24 hours.
Kathy was kind of in a fetal position, leaning to the left, and her body was discolored. It was like a bluish purple color, and her hair was drawn down over her face. I did notice blood in the bottom of the tub that was going into the drain.
After hearing screams, Drew Peterson goes into the house.
I felt for a pulse, and there was no vital life signs, as we say. And I immediately called my dispatch and told them somebody else needs to be here. I shouldn't be here. Stacy wanted it, she got it. I mean, she wanted a boob job. I got her a boob job.
Sue Doman's sister, Kathy, has been found lying in a bathtub at her home. Doman suspects that Kathy's death could be the tragic result of a bitter divorce from Police Sergeant Drew Peterson.
I kept telling her she would make it, and she said, "I don't think so. I don't think so."
Like her family, Doman is surprised that state police don't start an investigation into what looks like a possible homicide. Instead, within 24 hours, they're listing the cause of death as an accidental drowning.
It was very fast. We didn't have time to think, hey, this is not right. We just went with the system. We did what they asked us to do. We went to the inquest.
But the coroner's inquest proves to be another blow to Savio's family. The panel rules Kathy's death to be an accident. Walter Lee James is a jury member at the coroner's inquest. He says the votes are evenly split between ruling Kathy's death a homicide or an accident. He recalls one of the jurors is actually a police officer.
He said that Peterson wouldn't do anything like this, and I think that might have influenced a few of the panel members.
To this day, despite the family's suspicions, Peterson categorically denies he had anything to do with her death.
I'm sure her whole family was grabbing for answers, and it was very suspicious by nature, but I can't go beyond what their investigation was.
She even ends up taking in Drew's sons by a former marriage. But problems soon start to emerge. Peterson says Stacy changes after her protective elder sister, Tina, succumbs to cancer.
When her sister died, a lot of that bubbliness and things in her started to dissipate.
But Stacy's family and friends claim the cracks in the marriage appeared long before that. Her stepsister, Carrie, says the age difference began to gnaw away at Peterson.
She's 20, 22, you know, he's 50, you know, she may possibly find somebody else, and I think that's when he really started acting the way he did.
He would say some things, just put down kind of stuff, and just very demeaning things. That's why she actually went out and had these cosmetic things done to her body.
Stacy was spoiled. I pampered her. It's a lot of that's my fault. Stacy wanted it, she got it. I mean, she wanted a boob job, I got her a boob job. She wanted a tummy tuck, she got that. She wanted braces, LASIK surgery, hair removal, anything. Stacy loved male attention, and she loved being anywhere and having people pay attention to her.
Stacy's friends and family claim Peterson would prefer to keep Stacy imprisoned in her own home, hidden away from any potential admirers. They say he starts to watch her every move.
She happened to be in his briefcase or something, but she opened it up, and there was her phone record completely written and documented, where she was, who the phone call was to.
She went to breakfast with one of the other sisters, and he would circle the parking lot to make sure that she was only in there with her other sister and not a guy.
Even when he's on duty as night watch commander, Peterson swings by their home repeatedly, as if he's patrolling it, according to family friend Sharon Bajowski.
So he'd go in at 5 o'clock, he would do his roll call, he'd come back. He'd spend another hour here with the family, he would eat here in uniform, then he would go back out to the beat, he'd stay an hour or so, come back.
Police officers in this culture are given a special responsibility, they're given special powers. However, if you put someone in a position with that kind of power and that ability to intervene in people's lives in a way that just benefits them, sort of asking the fox to guard the hen house.
And Stacy's stepsister Carrie claims Stacy is also being abused by Peterson.
We had a physical confrontation that I can think of is I cornered her in the kitchen. We were arguing about something, I forget what it was. She said, "Get out of my face." And it was all verbal, and she hit me upside the head with a frozen steak. About knocked me dizzy.
But Stacy's family hardly sees Drew Peterson as the victim of physical abuse.
She was deathly afraid to even try to leave him. She felt...
People close to Stacy say trust is a fast disappearing commodity in the Peterson household. On October 17th, the day before the couple's 4th anniversary, Stacy contacts Steve Caesar, another old friend.
I never saw any signs of physical abuse, but he was always very controlling. Our calls were limited.
Stacy is able to communicate more fully with Caesar via email. I'm finding that the relationship I'm in is controlling, manipulative, and somewhat abusive. If you could keep me in your prayers, I could use wisdom, protection, and strength.
My first thought was, you know, she needs some help, but the problem being is he was a sergeant on the police department. If I called the police, you know, it would fall on deaf ears.
But Drew Peterson doesn't believe Stacy wrote the email.
If you talk to anybody that knows her, that doesn't sound like her vocabulary. It doesn't sound like something she would say.
And on the same day Stacy sends the email to Caesar, She calls her father with a new phone number and leaves a short, upbeat message.
Wednesday, October 17th at 12:37 p.m. Hey, Dad, it's me, Stacy. I just wanted to call you, tell you I love you. I also wanted to give you my new phone number. Okay, love you. Bye.
But on Thursday, October 25th, Stacy calls Pam Bosco. According to Pam, Stacy wants out of the marriage, and to Pam, she sounds frightened.
I said, I think you have to find a lawyer. To get a divorce, you're going to have to find to do it privately because you have children right now. You're concerned about losing those children. You just can't leave that house.
Bosco says the following weekend, Stacy's sister Cassandra decides to drop by her house. Stacy tells her something she finds disturbing.
Cassandra said she leaned over, she gave me a kiss, and she said, you know, I love you, and if anything happens to me, you know, it wasn't an accident.
The next day, October 28th, Stacy's family reports her missing.
I wish I had advised her differently. She would have said, just pack up your stuff and get out of there now. Forget everything.
Coming up, a man claims he helped Drew take a big blue container out of the Peterson home the night Stacy went missing.
He kept on insisting it was her, even though he did not see it.
And more on the latest developments in this disturbing case. On October 28, 2007, 3 days before Halloween, Stacy Peterson vanishes. Her sister Cassandra tries to reach her on her cell phone all afternoon.
The phone was off, and she couldn't get through. That's when the concern started to build. Cassandra could not get through on that cell phone to Stacy.
But eventually that night, around 11:30 p.m., she does get through to Stacy's husband, Drew.
He's out of breath, and he said that she left me. She went with another man. She went to the Bahamas or something. She took her bikini, the passport's missing, and she took money.
Hours later, Cassandra calls police, and a desperate search for Stacy is soon underway. But the search doesn't point investigators to the Bahamas or any other exotic locale. Instead, volunteers begin looking in canals at empty fields near Bolingbrook. Stacy's old friend, Steve Caesar, says he only hopes Drew's story is true.
I wish she was hiding out, but she's got nowhere to hide. You know, she would have called. She wouldn't have left her kids.
The mystery of what happened to Stacy only deepens when 2 days after her disappearance, state police hear of a bizarre tale.
And I told him everything that happened, you know.
Walter Martinek is a friend and neighbor of Drew Peterson's stepbrother, Tom Morphy. He tells police Tom came to his door the night Stacy goes missing. He seems frantic.
He goes, I got to talk to you. You can't. He put his arms on my shoulder. You cannot tell anyone. I go, calm down. What's the matter? What's the matter? He goes, I think I just helped move Stacy with Drew.
Walter's account of what Tom tells him goes like this. Drew asks Tom to move a blue container out of his room and down into his truck. Tom says the sealed container weighs about 120 pounds and feels warm to the touch. That's why he thinks it could contain a body.
I go, did you see it? He goes, no. But in my heart, it was there. He kept on insisting it was her, even though he did not see it.
Walter doesn't know what to make of the conversation, but 2 days later, something stops him in his tracks.
Tuesday at 4:30, I'm watching Channel 7, putting on my shoes, and then her picture pops up.
Illinois investigators are searching a pond today for any clues in the disappearance of a 23-year-old mother.
When Walter learns Stacy Peterson is missing, he tries to reach his buddy Tom to tell him the news. But Walter says it's Tom's girlfriend who answers the phone with news of her own.
I go, where's Tom? Tried to commit suicide last night.
Walter says he's stunned by what he hears.
I knew the real reason. His moral self, gut-wrenching feeling that he possibly might have helped.
Could Tom Morphy have inadvertently helped Drew Peterson dispose of his wife, Stacy? Just what, if anything, was inside the blue plastic container? Was there a blue container at all? Even if Drew can't be linked to the disappearance of Stacy Peterson, he could still find himself under a cloud of suspicion.
I absolutely believe there'll be an arrest in this case, but it won't be for Stacy Peterson, it'll be for Kathleen Savio.
We're here today to indicate that we're formally reopening the investigation into the death of Kathleen Savio.
In November, the state's attorney's office takes the dramatic step to exhume the body of Drew Peterson's third wife, Kathy, and conduct another autopsy. This announcement comes 12 days after Stacy is missing.
There are strong indications that it was a homicide. That's why we're doing the exhumation, because there are tests that need to be done that weren't done during the first autopsy. Clearly, there are indications from the crime scene photographs that are not consistent with an accident.
An outside pathologist hired by Savio's family also conducts an independent autopsy and determines Kathy's death is a homicide.
I don't think anything would be different. So if they go well into deeper and find something, it's by no means had anything to do with me.
One has a sense that here's a guy who believes he's in control of his destiny and is not really very worried or anxious about what the outcome is going to be here.
I'm just ready for anything that may come.
For now, the media remains parked outside Drew Peterson's door, hoping to catch a glimpse of the man who continues to be at the heart of this mystery.
Everyone really wants this guy. And although the general public, after watching him, can assume that he did it, there's a little voice in the back of my head that says, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence?